So I've been asked for a while to make a video of how all this works. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you all the setup and show you that it works. Okay, and we're going to be doing this on my 2-wheel drive Slash, because that's what I've got it set up. So you're going to need a Flysky NB4 Pro or NB4 Pro Plus. Those are the only two this works on. It will not work on the NB4 or the NB4 Plus. Trust me, I made that mistake. I bought the NB4 Plus first. Then you're going to need some kind of a portable power supply. And I'll put links to all that down below. And I've got a racing seat here. And then I've got the Logitech G29 steering wheel. And it is set up on, I believe it's set up on the PS mode. I'll have to take a closer look at that here in a minute. But, well, let's look. What is it set up on? Okay, it's set up on PS4, PS5 mode. Okay, so, as you can see, zoom back out. I turn the wheels, and the wheels on the car turn. Okay, I hit the gas. I got gas. Oh, there's reverse. I'm gonna hit forward and then reverse. Brakes. Reverse. Alright, now let's get into how all this works and how I set it all up. So the first thing we do is we take our car. Okay, we put the Flysky receiver in it. And we're going to bind it to the remote. Okay. Now, let me delete this because I want to show you all exactly from scratch. Okay, so let's say this is your first time setting up this model. You've installed your receiver and you've got your transmitter. Okay, so we're going to go to the main menu. Now these icons could be different because I've rearranged my menu so they could be different of where they are on yours. But I'm going to go model. I'm going to select model. I'm going to put this in number 4. Okay, but this is what I like to do. I like to go to a model that I already have set up that's something close. This is harder to do than I thought, holding it up like that. Let me put it down here where I'm not trying to look over it. Okay, and then I'm going to go, that did not, I don't think that worked the way I wanted it to. So model 3, max slash, switch to that. Okay, I'll be back, and then I'm going to go copy model into 4. This will copy the model 4, or no. I'm going to copy my, that's where I'm messing up. So no. I want to copy model 3. All right, this will copy the model 3. Are you sure? Yes. Okay. And then I go to 4, model 3 to the model 4. Yes. Okay. So now, if I go back and I go to model, I have 2 max slashes. So, and then I go in, select the model, and then I'm going to give it a name. Okay, since this is a Slash 2-wheel drive, I'm just going to call it Slash. It doesn't help with fat fingers. ASH space 2WD. Enter. Okay. Now what we've got to do is you have to bind it, right? You have to bind your receiver. So we're going to go bind set. Okay, this is going to be the enhanced receivers. This is what we have on this thing. Okay, and then we're going to go start bind, and then on the car you're going to hold the bind button and push the on button, and it should start flashing. Now, I don't know if you heard that or not, but it said bind successful. Okay, so then we can go back. Now you can change anything in there you want, but put this back over here. Okay, we have steering. This doesn't fit this stand very well, and then we have brakes, forward and brakes. Okay, so everything's set up. Okay, so now that you've got this part done, you can move on to the next part. Okay, so for the next part, I'm going to turn this off for now, and I'm going to turn this off for now.
Shutting down.
Okay, let's move this out of the way. The next part has to deal with, I don't know why I shut the controller down. I need the controller.
Welcome to Noble Pro Plus.
Okay, so the NB4 Pro and the NB4 Pro Plus are the only ones that have this mode called handle mode, okay, which is game handle. Now, before you even get into setting this up, the first thing you should do is be on the model you want to be on. Okay, go to your settings, and then you want to go to System, USB Setup, and make sure this is on USB function and not trainer mode. You want it on USB function. Okay, so then we go back. Now what we're trying to do now is get the handle mode to work. The handle mode is the one that will allow the G29 to work through the controller and then control the actual car. All right, so now that we've got this, the car and the controller all bound up, now we have to do set up the PlayStation part of it, okay, or set up the rig part of it. Okay, so I've got my rig all set up here. Okay, mounting my wheel to the chair, gas pedal. Okay, so you take your portable power supply here and you're going to plug it in. All right, so you plug it into your PS4. Let me turn it off so you start from scratch, right? So you turn it on, okay, and then you got to hold AC, so it'll switch to AC. All right, so now that part's on. So now we have power to the rig, but it didn't do nothing. Don't make that mistake. Don't call them and go, hey, it didn't do nothing. Well, it ain't supposed to do anything yet. Okay, now we plug the, it's hard to show you all this and hold the camera. Hang on, let me change something up here. I already recorded this part once, and as I went back and watched it, I didn't like it. So I changed the cameras around, changed the setups around a little bit. I want you to be able to see more of what I'm doing here. Okay, so we've got our power supply plugged in, sitting on the floor down here. Got our steering wheel hooked up. Okay, and now we have our controller. At this point, do not turn on the car. You do not need the car on to set this thing up properly. There's a reason for that. By default, every car I've added to this, by default, the clutch pedal on the Logitech is assigned to the throttle on the car. If you have the car on and you turn this thing on to control through the Logitech, you're running full speed. So unless your tires are off the ground or you got the tires off of it, it's fixing to shoot across the room. All right, so you do not need the car on to do this next part. Okay, so here's the part we're gonna do. We'll slide the car over. We're gonna put the controller here. All right, we turn the controller on. I've got the Logitech plugged into it. Turn on the controller. Okay, we're gonna go to settings. We're gonna go over to handle mode. Okay, we're gonna quick tap the bottom of the base to turn it on. When it comes on, the steering wheel should rotate to show you that it's engaging. My power supply might have shut off on us here. It did. Did it? Nope. Power supply is on. And there we go. Okay. So quick tap on the base, turns it on. Y'all saw the wheel rotate. Okay. But handle mode is still not on. We still have no control over the car, but you can feel the feedback in the wheel. That lets you know it's on. So now, down here on this button on the bottom, you're gonna tap it twice, real fast. And that turns on your handle mode. At this point, you can go in here and you want to display your controls first because you want to know what they are. Alright, so steering wheel, as you can see, it's changing numbers, so that's J1, okay? And then I've got gas, alright, so that's J2, brakes are J3, and my clutch is J4. By default, I've already set this car up. That's why mine is showing the way it's showing right here. Okay? By default though, J4 is the gas. If this car was on, when you initially set this up, it's on at 100% throttle. Do not turn the car on until you're done with this part. Okay? So now that I know what my buttons are, J1 steering, J2's throttle, J3's brakes, J4's gas. Every car I've set this up on so far, that's the way it's been anyway. So now we can go back and then we can go to assign controls. And we only want to do sticks. I'm sure you can go in and do keys and trims and all that, but all I do is sticks, okay? So J1 is already steering. So then I go into throttle and I set throttle to the button that was J2, okay? Now I've already got that set up. All right, and then in here, you want to tell it where the brake control is. Okay, so brake control is J3. So you just push on that. You open it up, select J3, and then you back out. You do not have to assign the brakes. Okay, it'll do all that for you. All right, so now at this point, everything is set up. Okay, so now we can back out, get back to our home menu, bring our car into place here, and let's turn the car on. Okay, now I got the car on, and I can see I'm turning the wheel. Okay, now I'm going to show you a little trick with the wheel, but now I have throttle, there's brake, and there's reverse. So everything is working. Okay, now for the steering wheel, if I go in here to settings and I go to the curves, okay, steering curve, if that's off, I want you to watch how far I'm turning the wheel versus how far those steering wheels are turning. It's a lot. All right, but if you go in here and you turn on your Expo and you set that at 100%, okay, so by default it's 0, so all you want to do is push the plus button, go all the way to 100%, okay. Now watch that steering wheel. Now I'm getting better response out of turning on the steering wheel. Okay? Alright, so let's go over this again. Car's off. We're gonna turn off the base. We're gonna turn off the controller.
Shutting down.
Okay? So now I'm gonna turn on the controller.
Welcome to Novo Pro Plus.
Alright, I'm going to go over to handle mode. Okay, I'm going to tap, quick tap the base. Okay, steering wheel does its thing. And now I'm going to double tap. Well, it stayed on because I never disconnected it. So the game mode automatically stayed on because I never disconnected the USB. But you would double tap the base and that would turn on your handle mode. And then once you got it on, you're back in there and you're good to go. All right. So people ask, what do you have in this? Okay. Just in the part to do the Logitech, between the Flysky controller, the power supply, the seat, Logitech steering wheel, all that, I'm running right at about $1,000. Is there cheaper ways to do this? Sure there is. Okay. RC Autoball, you go to his YouTube channel, he shows how to set this up exact same way that I have, but he also has something you can buy that you can use with a Radio Master transmitter, right? And this thing hooks into the Radio Master transmitter and allows you to do the same thing. It allows you to connect your USB in and you can steer with the Logitechs. If you can find them in stock, that's one route to go. There's a company overseas somewhere that actually sells a box that you can plug all this into and make everything work without going through all this programming, you know, and all that. And it's probably cheaper than just this radio by itself. Now, I do this because I race with it. I race with it and I bash with it, so I'm not worried about range. The Radio Master has a lot more range than the Flysky. It's also cheaper than the Flysky. You know, if you want to go out and you want to go crawling for a few miles or whatever, this is not the radio for that. It doesn't have the range for that. So if you're wanting to put this setup into a crawler and then really have some fun with it and do all the FPV stuff, then you know you're going to want a radio with a longer range on it than a Flysky. But I don't do that. I race it around the track. And then I just go out and just, you know, do some bashing and stuff like that with it. So, and you can check out some other videos where I've had it on my 8-scale off-road buggy. I've had it in the Slash, you know, and that's what we do. And then you really want to have some fun with it. Add yourself some FPV. 2 different systems. Okay, and I've made 2 different mounts. This mount is for a Slash. I've got all kinds of mounts. But this is for what's called the YoHD Micro from Ironquad. This is the YoHD Micro from Ironquad. Okay, with this mount, I don't run it like this. I run it like this on my NASCARs because I can just stick it on there. You got battery, you got everything. I'll leave a link to this below. Goggles, camera. This is a 1080p camera. It also records sound. I have beat the living tar out of this thing. It's been on my X-Maxx. It's been rolled over. It's been raced on my 8-scale off-road. This thing is a beast, okay? This mount will slide into here. This will bolt on there. Battery sits up underneath it. And then I put a little strap to go around that holds the battery up into place. This is the one, if you want to race or you're doing a little messing around, that's the one you want for that. Then there is called the Explorer HD. Okay, I don't know which way I'm holding the camera, but Explorer HD. Okay, this system actually comes with, it's 4K, does not record sound, but it has head tracking. This is the mount for the Slash for that. Some of these mounts are on the Ironquad site where you can download the STLs and print them yourself. But I've made all kinds of mounts. I have mounts for the X-Maxx. I have mounts for all kinds of cars. So this one, you look left, right, up, down. You can look all around with it, okay? The gimbal is the weak part of this. Do not bash with this system. You will break that gimbal. Trust me, this is my 3rd gimbal. They are making a system that is gonna be for bashing with head tracking, but this is not it. Okay, this is more for, I want to go out putting around and do a little crawling and just general exploring. Okay, so that's the Explorer HD. And then of course what I do is just cut the windows out of the bodies and slap them on there, and I'm ready to rock. Okay, these Explorers, this Explorer HD is not cheap, but I buy them for Ironquad because they're already wired. They already have the plates attached, everything's wired, everything's ready to go. All you gotta do is plug in your battery. Now it doesn't come with the wire cover. I put this on and shrunk wrap it myself, but it comes with the plugs. You plug it in here, you plug your battery in it, XT60 connector, comes with other connectors as well, and you're ready to go. You know, same thing with this, the YoHD micro here. You know, they are ready to go out of the box, and that's why I'll pay a little extra money for that, so I don't have to deal with any of that wiring or anything like that. All right, if anybody has any questions about anything, be sure to leave me a comment below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Let's fire this thing up one more time. So we're going to turn on the controller.
Welcome to Novo Pro Plus.
We're going to go over to handle mode. Okay, I'm going to quick press the base, the bottom. Turn it on. Steering wheel does its thing. Alright, and then I'm going to double tap real quick on the bottom. Handle mode is on. Turn on my car. Boom, bada boom, bada bing. We are off to the races. And then I just set this down beside the wheel, you know, just set it down beside the chair or whatever. And there you go. You got steering. You've got your throttle. Brakes. And reverse. Again, anybody has any questions or comments, please comment down below. Make sure you like and subscribe for more. Check out some of my FPV videos where I've run around with this stuff. And as always, thank you for watching.